Ladies and gentlemen, the politics of this country is taking shape very fast. President Uhuru Kenyatta today met with Azimio youths. And in his own words, the president told the youths that it is now time for campaign. And that is going to get out and on top of his cars, start telling Kenyans the truth. So we should expect President Uhuru Kenyatta to start campaigning publicly for Raila Odinga. And today, the Kenya Kwanza Alliance were in Nakuru. And from the speeches, it was clear that the statement which were uttered by Sabina Chege in Viga yesterday was the subject of that rally.
Sitashinda. Lakini jana mimi nimesikia, unajua kuna mjumbe wetu wa zamani, lakini yako kwa bado amekuwa Jubilee. Alienda huko Siaya, wakampatia bangi na pombe. Huyo mama mimi namjua mama mzuri, lakini alipewa bangi na pombe na wale jamaa wa Siaya. Yeye akasema ati ile ushindi yetu ya Uhuru na Ruto ambayo nyinyi mlipiga kura ati tuliiba kura. Hapana, wale watu wa Siaya mimi namwambia wasichana wetu wakikuja huko msiwapatie bangi na pombe.
Nataka kutahadharisha huyo mama anaitwa Sabina Chege. Politics in Kenya is volatile. And politics in Kenya is emotive. Mama Sabina, don't play with fire. Because fire can burn you. Tunataka kuambia NCIC, lazima huyo mama aandike statement aeleze ni nini anajua kuhusu wizi wa kura ambaye inaweza kuhatarisha amani ya Kenya.
Sabina Chege caused a storm when she uttered this statement.
Lakini nimesema kifika tarehe 9 kwanza tuchukue kura. Mumechukua kura? Iko kwa mfuko? Mwenye kwa na kura yake anionyeshe hapa hivi nione. Mnajua kule Central nimesikia wengine wakisema hapa tuliwaibia. Kuna kaukweli kidogo. Lakini mjue kama tulijua kuiba, si hata hii tutafanya nini? Alafu wanafikiria wao ndio wajanja. Lakini sisi tuko na watu, na baba ametembea kwa watu, na baba amekuwa the people's project, na tunataka kuwa the people's president, si ndio? Kwa hivyo mimi ningewaomba wale hawajachukua kura, kwa sababu bado zinaendelea kuchukuliwa, muzichukue ili mkue na numbers. Tarehe 9 mwezi wa 8 tuamke asubuhi na mapema. Na wamama nilisema hiyo siku tukiamka, wazee hiyo siku mtusamehe, hii maneno ingine tutafunga sava mpaka baba akue the 5th president of Republic of Kenya. Mumekubaliana na mimi? Mumekubaliana na mimi? Tumesema wakati ni sasa. Si ndio? Wakati ni, na kama sio sasa ni sasa.
And the deputy president actually dared the president to try rigging her out the way he rigged Raila Odinga.
Tumeelewana jameni? Mtatuunga mkono? Mtatuunga mkono? Wale ambao tunashindana na wao wamekubali ya kwamba tumewashinda na akili, tumewashinda na mpango, tumewashinda na sera, tumewashinda na kura. Ati sasa mpango yao imebaki ni moja, ati kubanga njama ya ama ujanja wa wizi wa makura. Sisi tunawaambia we are ready for this contest. As Kenya Kwanza, we are telling our competitors we are ready for you. Tuko tayari kabisa. Tumejipanga na agenda, tumejipanga na mpango, tumejipanga na chama chetu, tumejipanga na Wakenya, na tumejipanga na Mungu. Tunawangojea. Tunaelewana ndugu zangu watu wa Kuresoi? Tunaelewana? Mimi nawauliza watu wa Kuresoi, mkiona hii kundi letu hapa, mkiona hii jeshi letu hapa, mimi nikiongoza kama hasla, Nyinyi mkituona sisi ni watu tunaweza kuibiwa kura kweli? Sio ni ndoto ya mchana. Hawa wangwana watajua hawajui. Tumejipanga sawa sawa. Nyinyi mnanielewa? Hawa watu wasiwapatie vitisho baridi. Hawa tutawanyorosha asubuhi na mapema.
So in this video today, I want us to try and figure out the statements by William Ruto and why that rigging scheme, as alleged by Sabina Chege, is causing a lot of panic in William Ruto's camp. But before we do that, for those who are watching this channel for the first time, I want you to take a second or two and click the subscribe button so that next time we produce a video like this, YouTube will automatically notify you. Let us begin. And I want to begin by asking two main questions. Can elections be rigged in this country? Can elections be rigged in this country? The truth of the matter is that election rigging is something which is there with us. And it will continue to be there. Even in Russia, they accused Putin of rigging elections. In the United States of America, there were also claims of election rigging by Donald Trump. In Kenya, election rigging has always been a part and parcel of elections. Previously, we used to have the Mlolongo system of voting, where people with shorter lines were actually declared the winners. So election rigging is not anything new. And in this country, we went high-tech. We started rigging elections using the computer. In fact, one of the recommendations of the Kriegler report was that to avert elections, there were certain things which needed to be done. I'm not sure whether those things have actually been done. So elections can be rigged in this country. That's number one. Number two, did Jubilee rig the elections? The answer to that, in my view, will depend with the person answering it. If you ask those who are in NASA, they will tell you that elections of 2013 and probably 2017 were rigged. And of course, clear rigging took place in 2007, when Raila Odinga was rigged out. So the truth of the matter is that the last election, there were elements of rigging. And that's why it was nullified. There was voter inflation, where Uhuru Kenyatta figures were actually inflated. There were reports of dead voters voting. There were reports of fake polling centers being reported, which is true. And also there were cases of voter suppression, where Raila Odinga would get 55, then is given 40, So election rigging took place and it will continue taking place. In 2007, Kriegler report found that both ODM and PNU rigged the elections. But what is the main objective of William Ruto and his brigades talking about this election rigging? Number one, the UDA party is trying to lay the ground to reject the results. So that if results will be streaming in, then they'll say that people like Sabina Chege promised that this election was going to be rigged. So they are laying the ground to reject those results. Remember, even the electronic transmission, there were issues about it. Some are saying we should have electronic transmission of results. Some are saying we should not have electronic transmission of results. So Kenyans are headed to this election even without knowing how the results will be relayed. In fact, the main reason why Musando was eliminated was because Musando wanted a system where when results are announced at the polling station, that is actually what is reflected at the National Tallying Center. But he was eliminated. Why? Because some people wanted to interfere with that. And the ODM party managed to persuade the Supreme Court judges that there were elements of election rigging. So William Ruto and his brigades are laying elaborate strategy to reject the 2022 results, if those results are not going to favor them. And this is going to be, they're going to sustain that onslaught. That's number one. Number two, I think based on the speech by the Deputy President is trying to assure his supporters that this election is not going to be rigged, that nobody can dare rig his elections. I mean, his election. If he's elected, he'll be declared. Nobody can steal his election. Why is it important for him to assure his people? You know, ODM supporters believe very strongly that they've done everything within their powers to make Raila Odinga president. If voting, they voted. If demonstrations, they demonstrated. If boycotting elections, they've done. They only believe that the only thing remaining, standing between Raila and the presidency, has always been the system. So for them, they're going into this election knowing so well that Raila Odinga's chances of becoming the next president of the Republic of Kenya are so high because of the fact that he now has that system in quote. William Samoei Ruto is now telling his supporters that they should not be worried about election rigging because he's been part of the system. And therefore, nobody can actually dare steal his results. So that's what he's trying to tell his people. He wants to assure them that if his results are going to be 50, that's what will be announced. Number three, I think they are also trying to project Raila Amolo Odinga as a state project. Why is it important for UDA or Kenya Kwanza to project Raila Odinga as a state project? It is important to project Raila Odinga as a state project because Kenyans have always rejected state projects. And it will be easier for them to assure their supporters that the elections were rigged because Raila Odinga was actually a state project. So basically what the DP and his brigades are trying, the narrative they are trying to project is that Raila Odinga is a state project and he doesn't have the numbers. And his only hope is rigging. And because the only hope is rigging, there is no way they're going to rig that election. Number four, in my view, is the fact that William Ruto is also coming out as someone who is telling and assuring his supporters that he's been there, he's done that, and therefore he's the master of all these schemes. And because being a master of all these schemes, the supporters should not be worried. Because if, for example, you want to weaken the spirit of UDA supporters, just tell them that Raila Odinga is a state project and that Raila Odinga is likely to be declared the president even if he won't win. And lastly, it could be a strategy to get sympathy. How do you win sympathy of supporters? Tell them that Raila Odinga is a state project and therefore these guys want to steal this election. So for us, the only thing we can do is to protect our votes, get out in large numbers, vote, and then after voting, protect the votes. So that sympathy will come. People will say, okay, these guys want to rig Ruto because probably they are part of dynasty, they are part of project and the rest. I don't know what you think, but that's my take. Thank you guys for your time and may God bless you. Amen.